If Miss Bishop felt I had committed a severe breach in policy, then Miss Bishop would have the authority to rip up my contract. Instead, Miss Bishop breached the 30-day policy regards disciplinary. Miss Bishop window of opportunity to conduct a disciplinary has been expired by 120 days. A policy is put in place for a reason to protect the drivers and the employers to have fairness by equal rights and opportunity. To lose my job over a cup of hot drink, holding a paper issued by themselves and then stating I ran a red light knowing the traffic enforcement policy protects me. Miss Bishop fabricated my dismissal and orchestrated my records to give her superiors a blind eye and paint a bad image on a man with a clean record. If the public feels I'm wrong, then I pray no one makes a mistake within their jobs, and I wish you all the best. I raised another grievance and was given a grievance hearing on the 11th of June 2020, but was conducted by Michael Wyatt, another operating manager from Wood Green, who denied my choice of representation, claiming my selected union representative is COVID-19 positive and isolating with family, a false statement, as I contacted my union representative later and I was advised there was no contact. My preferred union representative wrote a witness statement stating he was never contacted at relevant times. I did not agree to this meeting, but used a union representative elected by managers. Mr. Freddie Cobham was present as a witness. Mr. Wyatt acted under false pretense as HR who handles grievances. Mr. Wyatt also conducted a second fact-finding already conducted by Mr. Fabio Diaz on the 22nd of April, 2020. Mr. Cobham also sat in that meeting as it was already done and a decision was made to pay me. Instead, Mr. Fabio Diaz suspended me in a meeting I did not attend with full pay, only to decide the next day on the 23rd of April 2020 to not pay me without informing the union representative they themselves elected. A breach to my contractual rights. Mr. Wyatt wrote back and rejected all my grievances, with the window to appeal. I then had another meeting held via Teams as it was lockdown and government guidelines were in place. Mr. Parry acted under false pretense as HR, who handle grievances at work, who was just a simple driver recruiter. I requested a transfer and money owing. Mr. Ben Parry claimed he will speak with management staff to sort a transfer. Mr. Parry also rejected my grievances on the 27th of July 2020, with no option of appeal. A grievance appeal held again without union representative of choice and none, to be quite frank. I then attended a disciplinary meeting on the 3rd of August 2020, with Miss Bishop, where I was denied a union representative of choice and was told by Miss Bishop once again, my choice of representation is COVID-19 and isolating with family. This statement was also false. Witness statement were given to tribunal to prove my choice of representation was not contacted to represent me on separate occasions inclusive of my dismissal date, which should have dismissed the case in my favor as its breach of company policy and human rights along with ACA's code of practice regards if a union representative of choice is not contacted, and given 5-day notice the meeting cannot go ahead. A witness statement given to the tribunal proves my union representative of choice was not once contacted. I challenge Miss Bishop. If this meeting is legal, please continue. Miss Bishop refused to continue and postponed the meeting for another week. On the 11th of August 2020, Miss Bishop carried out the same disciplinary, knowingly well a grievance which implicates her is pending, so Miss Bishop should not have chaired any disciplinary. Claim my choice of representation is still isolating due to COVID-19. So I used Freddie Cobham as a witness again. Miss Bishop dismissed me on 2 charges, attendance and driving standards. I have no attendance issues due to the negligence of Miss Bishop, using my self-suspensions as attendance issues by failing to investigate them all. Then claim my driving standards is poor. But evidence from mystery travelers judge my driving standards 5 times and I scored 97%, 89%, 88%. 86% and 96% with a reduction of 20% due to not using my internal mirror, which I find to be a distraction. I have not had any accidents since my start of employment in 2015. Miss Bishop dismissed me for both attendance and driving standards, using a mobile phone policy when on the contrary, no mobile phone was used during the allegations on the 13th of March 2020. Miss Bishop dismissal was unethical as there are grievances that implicates her and would be bias in its full, if conducted by Miss Bishop who would not have an objective eye. Miss Bishop decision to dismiss based on attendance was overturned by another manager, Mr. Nick Bland, and upheld the dismissal on driving standard with no evidence or evidential support to back such allegations.